Felt her cheeks flame at the blatant innuendo, but managed only a lame, "in your dreams," as a response. He chuckled. "Sorry," he said, shaking his head. "I don't get out much anymore." "Shocker," she muttered before heading for the cash register. She added a pack of M&Ms, the peanut variety, for protein, and paid the gum-smacking attendant. Halfway to her car, Mr. Beef Jerky caught up with her. "I really am sorry for the lousy joke," he said, matching his stride to hers. His voice was gravelly, the vowels drawn out in typical Southern fashion, and she fought the immediate prick of attraction skittering along her skin at the unnecessary apology for some silly teasing. The unsolicited bit of kindness didn't make him a decent guy and shouldn't matter either way. She was here to discover why the father she never knew had reached out to her now, when he'd never bothered to during his life, and collect her inheritance and put this tiny dot on the map in her rearview mirror. Too bad she had no plan for what came next. She'd essentially blown apart her entire life a month ago with her stupid choices, one particular choice involving one specific man. Avery wanted to believe she hadn't inherited her mom's self-destructive streak when it came to men. The facts, and the lives ruined in her wake, told a different story. She wasn't about to take a chance again, even for a moment of harmless flirting. She stopped next to her car and turned to face him. "Listen, Jim Bob or Billy Bob or Bubba, or whatever your redneck name is," she began, loosening the reins on the anger, irritation, and misplaced grief she'd been tamping down for days. "You might be hot, but I'm not interested in some good old boy who thinks he's God's gift to women." He cocked a thick brow, but she continued before he could speak. "So why don't you just saunter off to whatever god-awful watering hole this town has to offer, and ply your tired charms on a woman who's too drunk to care whether this," she wagged a finger up and down in front of him, "is all you have to offer?" When his eyes flashed with something that looked like pain before narrowing, she sucked in a ragged breath. Oh no, she'd just ripped into a perfect stranger who didn't deserve her unbridled animosity. Talk about kicking the dog. Shame and regret bubbled up inside her, as familiar as a worn pair of shoes. She opened her mouth to apologize, but he held up a hand. "It's 10 in the morning and I'm on duty," he said, his tone stony. The southern drawl sounded even more pronounced when laced with temper. "But I sure do appreciate the advice, and I'll keep it in mind for later, darling. This was just the reminder I needed of why women like you are a bad bet." Women like her. Ouch. She didn't understand the exact meaning of his words, but they were obviously an insult of the highest order, and one she deserved more than he could realize. Which was why she didn't go after him when he stalked toward the hulking black truck parked near the front of the building, even though guilt ate at her insides. Let him believe she was a raving bitch. Most people from her old life did. She glanced at her watch and stifled a groan. She was late for the meeting at the attorney's office. After her outburst with the haughty firefighter, she had half a mind to skip the reading of the will. With the maelstrom of emotions rioting through her, there was no telling what kind of trouble she'd get into next. She put away the gas nozzle, then climbed into the car, leaning into the dash as the air from the vents turned cool once again. Blonde hair clung to her sticky neck, and she took the elastic band off her wrist and pulled her hair into a messy ponytail. She'd woken today at a hotel in Raleigh and gotten ready like she was heading to the most important business meeting of her life. She'd ruthlessly straightened her hair, although she quickly realized how much of a waste of time that had been. No amount of product was going to beat the impact of the late August heat and humidity. The Calvin Klein pantsuit that normally made her feel confident now seemed like overkill, especially as sweat beaded at the backs of her knees and trickled between her shoulder blades. She turned out of the service station parking lot, following the route programmed into the car's GPS. She'd done her research on Niall Reed. He was commercially successful, critically eviscerated, and not man enough to claim his bastard daughter while he was alive. Her stomach twisted as she pulled to the curb in front of a brick building.